question arises, if till 1962 everything was going smoothly, then how India suddenly took a scratching halt in the golden journey of football? Few days back, there was a huge crisis in the Indian football. The Indian Olympic Association decided not to send the Indian football team to the Asian Games, which will be hosted in China later this year. But did you get to know about it? I don't think so. And this is not your fault. Not at all. The majority of Indians did not get to know about this because it was not covered properly by the media. And not only this news, most footballers are never covered by the media even if they are significant feats. Even the current coach Igor Stimac ranted about the ill treatment of Indian football towards Indian media. They never get the front page coverage nor they get the prime time attention. India qualified for the AFC Cup again after the previous edition of AFC. In the last edition, India stunned Thailand with some dominating football, but unfortunately, we were not able to qualify to the next round. This time, under Coach Stimac, we are very hopeful that we will at least go to the next round. Coach Stimac again appealed to the government and AIFF pushed hard to get permission for the Indian football team to participate in the Asian Games. Finally, thank goodness, last week, there was a decision made that both Indian men and women's football team is going to participate in the Asian Games. And most citizens are not aware of all this happening. Only the few ardent fans know about it. So what exactly went wrong? Why Indian football does not have a good status? Why do we have this lamenting condition? So what are the reasons behind the plight of this in Indian football? Is football not popular in India? Are there no fans in India? Does no one watch football in India? You might remember the FIFA World Cup 2022 that was conducted in Qatar. On social media accounts, the Indian fans celebrated it like some festival, literally, and they celebrated it like festival. And if you observe the reports, after Saudi Arabia, Indian had the second largest physical attendance in Qatar. Yes, Indian flew to Qatar to watch the match live. The most foreigner fans on the stands were from India, even though we did not have any participation in the prestigious FIFA tournament. This proves that there is a huge craze for football in India. But still, the captain of our national team, Sunil Chhetri, had to request by featuring in a video with joined hands, "I'm going to play my 100th football match for the national team. Kindly come in huge number and watch the match and support us." That's the sorry situation. Let's talk about this. This situation of Indian football was not critical like this always. There was a time when we were observing the golden period of football in India. From the first day how football started to the golden period of Indian football to why Indian Olympic Association decided not to send Indian football contingent to the Asian Games, let me tell you the complete story in this video. Please watch this video till the end and do not forget to share with your friends because this will educate all citizens. Before we look into the past, present and future of Indian football, we should know the status of football at the global level. Currently, 211 countries and territories are participating in the game of football, and there are more than 3.5 billion fans of football worldwide. Half of the world loves this sport. That's why it is among the most popular sports of all time. If you talk about the countries, then you will be shocked. In terms of numbers, the total number of fans of football across the globe, India has the second largest fan base, and we are behind only China. And if you talk about money is raining. The recently conducted FIFA World Cup in Qatar, it generated a revenue of $7.5 billion, and this is 1 billion more than the previous edition of 2018 FIFA World Cup, and 1 billion is roughly 800,000 crores rupees. So you might understand the earnings are infinite. On the other hand, the world's most popular football leagues like Premium Leagues, La Liga and many other leagues have their valuation in billions of dollars. The world's top 10 richest sports events have more than 5 football events. Hence, it could be understood that how superior football is in the global stage here. And if you talk about players, then from Lionel Messi to Ronaldo to Neymar to Mbappe, they have their personal net worth in hundreds of millions of dollars. Now you might be thinking, where do India stand in this huge glamour of football? As of August 2023, India is ranked 99 out of the total 211. Do you know the situation was not always like this? If we talk about football in India, Britishers introduced this sports of football in India in the early 19th century. But at that time, it was as a recreational or entertainment activity only. It was not played like a competitive sports. And there is a huge gap or a huge difference between the football which was played then and the football that is played today. The difference can be understood in the book History of Indian Football by Nirmal Nath. If you are an ardent Indian football lover, then get this book. It will teach you and tell you about different fascinating stories. Nirmal Nath tells that the first football match in India was held in 1802 at Bombay between the island and the military. This match was only for 30 minutes. Football was started in India, but the participations of Indians in football took more than 70 more years. During the early stages, only the Britishers used to participate in this game. In the year 1870, football clubs were established in India for the first time. Shrestha Club, Calcutta Club, Dalhousie Club, and many more were established. All the members of these clubs were predominantly Britishers. After this, the process of building football in India on ground level got started. There arrives a man who was going to completely change the picture of football in India. The father of Indian football, Nagendra Prasad Sarbadhikari. Remember this name, Nagendra Prasad Sarbadhikari. In the year 1877, a young boy at the age of 8 starts teaching football to his friends in his school, and there was a presidency college nearby. G.S. Stack, who was a professor at the college, becomes their first voluntary coach, and with this, football started developing in India. Gradually, many clubs like the Howrah Sportings and Wellington clubs were established. Shobha Bazaar Club was started in the year 1888. Mohan Bagan Club was established in the year 1889. This club becomes a legendary club later on. In fact, today as well, this club is considered to be the oldest running club in India. After these, there were two magical moments which helped spread the games in the whole country like wild forest fire. First moment was observed in the year 1892. Shobha Bazaar Club was invited to play the Traders Cup. This was a tournament conducted by the Britishers, and Shobha Bazaar Club stunned everyone. They went on to win this tournament. This was a huge groundbreaking moment. It was a huge groundbreaking moment in history, since the movement for independence had already started at that time, and winning this game became the symbol of anti-imperialism for the Indians. India have won against the Britishers in their own game. That gave us something to be proud of. After that, the craze of football in India started increasing rapidly. The much needed thing at that time was the All India Football Tournament. Sarbadhikari was busy setting this up, and the problem was there was not any football governing body at that time, and that's why in the year 1893, Indian Football Association was constituted. After the setup of this organization, the game of football spread throughout the country in no time. In the year 1899, the first football club in southern India was set up in, you guessed it right, Kerala, the house of the Manjapadas, right? R.V. Ferguson Club was the first club in Kerala. In the year 1985, Boys Social Club was established in Goa. At that time too, Britishers were dominating the game of football in India, but by this time India had developed a lot in the game. And finally in the year 1911, there was the second groundbreaking moment. This year, Mohan Bagan defeated the East Yorkshire Regiment by 2-1 in the final of IFA Shield. And the importance of this victory could be understood by the fact that Mohan Bagan became the national club of India, and the 11 players who played in the finals were called the Immortal 11. I'm getting goosebumps while telling this. After this, in the year 1924, the first foreign tournament of India was conducted in Sri Lanka. In the year 1937, All India Football Federation, the current AIFF, was formed, and in the next year of 1938, India went on to tour Australia, and Robert Lumsden was India's first ever hat-trick scorer. After 2 years, in the year 1940, Mohammedan sporting clubs won the Durand Cup and created another historical moment. At this point in time, many things were set up in football. Football had gained popularity in country. This was the golden era of Indian football. Although the official inauguration of this golden period in India was done just 1 year after the independence of India. In the London Olympics of the 1948, Captain Talimeron Ao from Nagaland was called the Barefoot Wonder. India played their first match against France. India lost the match by 2-1. But the overall performance of the whole team was so good that the team was invited to Buckingham Palace for a special dinner. We got an affiliation from FIFA in the same year. In the year 1950, a big moment is observed. FIFA invited India to FIFA World Cup. AIFF denied its participation in FIFA. The exact reasons were not clear, but there are many theories like probably AIFF did not have sufficient funds, or playing barefoot was not allowed, or there was no sufficient time to practice, or there was some disagreement on the team selection. But what we think is that probably AIFF would have prioritized the Olympics game over the World Cup, and that's why the request from FIFA was ignored. In the year 1951, Asian Games were conducted in India, and in these games, under the captaincy of legendary Selen Manna, India again won a gold medal. Yes, we won gold medal in the Asian Games. Then came the year 1956 Melbourne Olympics. India finished 4th position in Olympics. Can you imagine? 4th in Olympics. And after this, India was given the tag of powerhouse of Asia or Brazil of Asia. And after this, in the 1962 Asian Games, India won a gold medal again. But unfortunately, this was probably the last year of the golden period of Indian football. After this, the complete downfall of Indian football started. We could never qualify for football in the Olympics game. We could not win another medal in the Asian Games, and we could never qualify for the FIFA World Cup. The question arises, if till 1962 everything was going smoothly, then how India suddenly took a scratching halt in the golden journey of football? Now, let me tell you the story of the downfall of Indian football. After the 1963, these incidents in some way or the other impacted Indian football negatively. The first incident was the death of coach Syed Abdul Rahim. That was the saddest part. In the year 1963, the coach and manager of Indian football team Syed Abdul Rahim died, and this was a major setback for Indian football. Rahim is still considered to be the greatest coach of all time with regard to the Indian football. The complete golden period which I was narrating took place during the tenure of coach Rahim, and his death was a major loss for the country and for football. And the second incident was retirement of big players. Soon after 1963, many legendary players like Nawal D'Souza, Subimal Chinni Goswami, Jarnal Singh Dhillon, P.K. Banerjee, Peter Thangarajan, Sailendranath Manna, and many more took retirement. All these players took Indian football to the peak. Retirement of legendary players in any sport is very common, but if a system gets set up in the country in which the retired players are involved in the scouting for new players, similar to what we have in cricket nowadays, many new players would have flourished and the problem would have been solved to a great extent. But these systems were not set up in India, and that's why when legendary players retired, then a visible downfall was observed in our performance. And the complete downfall of the Indian football was fueled by the 1983 Cricket World Cup. India won the 1983 Cricket World Cup. The popularity of cricket in India reached such an extent that it destroyed not only hockey but football as well. When India won 1983 Cricket World Cup, the interest of the whole country, the interest of all the citizens, the interest of the sponsors, the full focus of the Indian government, everything was provided to cricket. And in some way or the other, hockey, football and all other sports shifted to the back burners. The next reason behind the downfall of Indian football is politics. Yes, politics. Internal politics contributed negatively to the Indian football. Legendary players of Indian football are not happy with the management of Indian football. Very recently, last year, FIFA banned AIFF. Why? The previous president of AIFF was not conducting the election. He was there for the last 12 years. When Supreme Court of India intervened, FIFA did not like it. FIFA did not accept the intervention of any foreign body. And internally, the situation was not good. Elections were not getting conducted. The people involved in the management of the football in India were shifting their energy and focus to politics instead of using for the development of game in India. And India started lagging in football. The next big reason is the lack of funds. The administration of Indian football always experienced a lack of funds. In fact, last year, the allocated funds for football were decreased by 50%. Yeah, they made it half. Due to the lack of funds, a proper structure was never developed in the country. Through this, we could have done scouting for new talents or built a good ground and stadium, but we lagged behind. In recent years, if we observe, the condition of football is improving and the current AIFF has formed a vision, the Vision 2047. And if the points mentioned in this vision are achieved, then a golden period with regards to Indian football can be experienced. In this vision, the next 24 years are divided into 6 groups of 4 years each, and AIFF has set targets for every 4 years. At the end of the year 2047, the target is to get among the top 4 teams in Asia, to develop a vibrant football ecosystem in India, and to make one of the football leagues in India among the top 3 leagues in Asia. One player each among men and women is to be developed as an iconic player with international stardom. And to achieve these goals, AIFF had to focus on governance, infrastructure, digital transformation, formation of new clubs, identification of new talents on the grassroots level, marketing and commercialization of national and international level competitions. AIFF will definitely focus on all these, and we are very hopeful that all this will be done and achieved by AIFF. But the thing that is most wanted by the Indian football is yours and mine support. Watch Indian football on TV. Invite your kids and kins. AIFF will have to focus on all this, and all this will be done by AIFF. But the thing that is most wanted by Indian football is yours and mine support. Support of a common man and woman of India, including the kids. They are the real power of any team. More than 3 crores Indians watch European football leagues, but they do not turn up for the Indian matches. That's the sad part. And in some way or other, due to this attitude, the marketing and commercialization of Indian football is getting hampered. And I believe the time has come to support Indian football as well, like we do cricket or in that matter any other sports. And I hope India will soon get the chance to sing Jana Gana Mana in the FIFA World Cup. So this was all about the rise, fall and resurgence of Indian football. Hope you learned some facts about Indian football, and I sincerely believe you will support Indian football in every possible way. Watch Indian football on TV. Invite your kids and kins and the next generation to watch football along with you. Educate them about the games and the point system of the league which you are following. Whenever possible, go to the stadium and watch any football match, no matter whether it's a club football or national team playing. Put your kids, both boys and girls, to the football coaching. We need to develop the football culture just like we have cricket culture in our country. Just like we can play cricket in narrow gully of our lanes or even inside our house, we can play cricket indoors, and we also play cricket with exam clipboards with the stones. We do not need a proper cricketing pitch to enjoy the feel of cricket. Similarly, we should play football at every opportunity. Play with proper ball if you have. If not, play with tennis ball. If not, play with paper stuffed in the shop. Just get the feel of ball and keep playing. That's how we can create a football culture. We should not be sitting and hating cricket to be a good football supporter. Cricket is not the sole reason for the downfall of Indian football. All sports can coexist and flourish. Instead, the lack of interest in football by the citizens of India is the main reason for the downfall of football. You will not get a Pele or a Maradona or a Ronaldo or a Messi overnight. We have to keep supporting and backing our team and the game. And we never know, the next superstar of Indian football might be from India, and he or she can be your own kid or relative or your neighbor. So let's football and keep playing football and keep supporting our team. Jai Hind.